to Home Farm. Today we're talking to you about my Felco collection. We'll go through 5 different models of secateurs and loppers, and I'll explain why I think that Felco makes one of the best gardening tools in the world. So for those of you that don't know me, welcome to my home farm. This is our channel where we basically share our journey through sustainability and trying to be more sustainable in a lifestyle in the country, and on our small holding where we have 2 acres of garden and field and woodland and a pond. So we've got quite a lot of different areas to garden and maintain, and that's why since we moved to this property, our gardening skills and experience has certainly ramped up. Last year, we started to take our gardening a lot more seriously. We are in our 3rd year in this property, and the first couple of years we've really spent doing internal renovations and things like that. And then last year was our first year that we actually built our vegetable garden and really started to get our hands dirty and get involved in our garden more. So last year we started to look around for really good, durable gardening tools, and one of the brands that I came across very early on was Felco. Felco is a Swiss brand, and they specialize in secateurs, loppers, some wire cutters, so things like that. They have quite a large range with regards to, when you're looking at for a secateur, but they don't have a wide range with regards to, they don't go out of their remit of secateurs and loppers. They don't go into spades and shovels or anything like that. They really stick to what they're good at, and they are really good at what they do. They take their craftsman and workmanship really seriously, right down to how they do the blades, how they manufacture the handles, the ergonomics, how everything feels, the durability, the fact that each part is replaceable. So they really take those things seriously, and that's what appealed to me straight off the bat was, okay, this looks like a brand I should invest in, potentially purchase some of their products and their tools, but then have those for a lifetime. So I'm just going to go through my Felco collection based on how and when I got them. So the very first Felcos I ever got were these Felcos 300. I got these ones primarily for just going outside and snipping flowers and getting some cuttings to come into the house. The Felco 300s are definitely, I would say, more in the entry level of their product line, because it does go up and it gets kind of more serious, more durable with regards to thickness of how much the secateurs can cut. So if you're looking to kind of just break your teeth on a pair of Felcos, and you just want something to snip, like go outside and snip a few flowers, snip some herbs, that kind of thing, I would really recommend the Felco 300s. They're really comfortable in the hand. They've got these molded plastic handle. There's no parts for your fingers per se, but they are a really nice smooth handle, and it's really remarkable. I think the most impressive thing about Felco is just how much time and design they have spent researching about how you would comfortably hold a pair of secateurs or tools in your hand. They've really spent a lot of time doing it, because you can tell that everything is just molded to perfection. It literally sits in your hands so comfortably, and the Felco 300s are quite lightweight. The heaviness comes in the blade, not in the handle. The handles are very, very light, and the weight is more here in the blade section. There's nothing rickety about a pair of Felcos. They all come with a little latch here so that you can really quickly spring them open. I'll turn around so you can see it. So when you want to close them, you just do that, and then you open them so quickly. So it's really nice to have that as a safety tool, and then I just slip them straight into my pocket and know that they're nice and safe and secure. Even though the Felco 300s are on the lighter side, because they are more of a kind of a quick go around and snip something, they're not supposed to be for thick branches. They are supposed to be just for little stems, flowering stems, great for flower arranging, that kind of thing. But even then, with them being more the lightweight side of things, you open them up and you just feel they are so durable. The blade is just so smooth and sharp. I have not sharpened these once. I've had them for 12 months. I do keep them clean, so I always wipe them and I sanitize them after I've especially been doing flowers or changing vases of flowers, of water and that kind of thing. So just to make sure there's no bacteria on them, and I keep them dry. But I have not needed to sharpen them, and they are still razor sharp. I mean, they're just so sharp, and they feel just as good as the first day I took them out of the pack. The next secateurs I've got are the Felco 2s. You can see how well used these ones are. They are used for bigger jobs, tougher jobs, and their Felco 2s are basically the go-to Felcos for most people who are purchasing their first Felcos. Felco 2s are really popular because they're more of an all-round kind of secateurs. They tend to do a lot of different jobs. They've also got the latch there, which you can open, which is kind of difficult to do backwards because obviously it should be facing me, but I'll try. And also with the Felco 2s, you have a little divot here, if you can see, in the blade, and that is for wire cutting, which is really handy because if you're out in the garden and you're doing some trellis work, you're just tidying up some creepers and you're snipping away and pruning, and then you want to tie some maybe of your creepers onto the trellis and you're just wiring stuff up, you can also just put that wire, slide it down here and give it a snip, and it works beautifully. These are definitely my kind of everyday Felcos. I use these every single day. I go out into the garden, I have them in my pocket, and if I don't, the amount of times I say, where are my Felcos? Because I've either left them in the kitchen or they're in the wrong part of the garden. So I use these religiously. They are really fantastic. They do need a clean and they do need sharpening. They have been really used well over the course of the last year. And the blade is still sharp, but you can tell it's not razor sharp, as my Felco 300s are razor sharp. But the Felco 300s are really, as I said before, snipping through things like very delicate flower stems and things. So they're not really, the blade is not really blunting that quickly. Whereas these are taking, you know, proper twigs, branches, I would say, that are, you know, as thick as my little finger. So they're taking some fairly good size branches off. So they really are being used a lot. The Felco 2s have a different, they don't have a spring, they have this in the center, and all of these parts are replaceable. I think I mentioned that earlier, but you can go onto Felco. So for example, if at any stage I need to buy a whole new blade, you can actually take this apart, purchase this as a spare part, and purchase the blade only and replace that on your Felco 2s. So your Felco 2s, well, as with all your Felcos, should be with you for life, which is why I think I really like the fact that I'm investing in a product that I know is with me. It's literally buy once, and that's what I like about it. I'm not buying another pair of secateurs that in 2 or 3 years time go on the landfill and I have to get another one. I like the fact that I know that if anything goes wrong with these, I can find out which bit I need and purchase that specific spare part. The Felco 2s also have a little rubber stopper here in between to take any shock absorption, and they really do that. There is nothing plastic on the Felco 2s at all. And you can see on the Felco 2s, they've also stamped in, it says Felco 2 there, so you always know which one you're using. And everything on here is metal, steel, and then the handles are metal too, and they have just been dipped in rubber, so like a hot rubber seal onto them, and that makes them really nice and comfortable. I haven't had, last year we had a few really hot weeks and I never had any kind of hot sweaty hand moments with my Felcos. They were always nice and cool to the touch, never slippy, really good grip, and just a really solid pair of secateurs. I think if you're looking for a pair of secateurs that are kind of more your kind of go-to all-rounder kind of secateurs that can do lots and lots and lots of different jobs in the garden, then the Felco 2s are a fantastic purchase. Quite honestly, I could have Felco 2s. I could have multiple Felco 2s all over our property because they are just the one that I always want to reach for and go for. So they do things like, you know, your herbs, your really denser herb twigs. So for example, like your rosemary, if you've got some really dense rosemary, dense lavender, those kind of things, the Felco 2s will just fly through it. Really comfortable, and I definitely want to give these a clean and a spruce up for the summer. My next ones are the Felco 211/3. These are loppers, and they are really good for branches, and they will get through just about everything I've thrown at them within reason. The shock absorber here, these rubber ones, are bigger in proportion with the tool and are always really comfortable. So when you do get through something, it kind of almost feels like a secure bounce, if you like. Doesn't want to spring back at you, but definitely feels like that those balls are taking the cut and makes it really comfortable to use. The handles are a good length. I'm able to reach into most things and get to what I'm looking for, and also I like the fact they're actually flat. Some of the loppers that we've had before are really chunky round ones, and I know it sounds silly, but actually when you're kind of going in for something quite precise inside a bush, it's actually really nice to have just the line of sight down here to where your blade is going to be cutting. So I actually find that just a really nice design feature. I would say I'm not sure if it's deliberate, but I'm pretty sure it's deliberate because Felco are just so precise in everything that they have done with their tools, and you can tell that everything is a very conscious decision in their design and how they've thought through absolutely everything. Again, most things are replaceable. You can get spare parts for all of these different parts, and I would say that I have been very naughty. We accidentally left these in an open garage for a few weeks over winter. I kind of thought that I put them away, he thought he put them away. So it was just one of those things that they accidentally got left on a pile of wood. So they have got a little bit of rust here, but nothing that can't get cleaned up with a wire brush and some cleaning product, and I'm sure they'll come up just fine. And it certainly hasn't affected the blade or the actual mechanism here. It's still really smooth to use, and the blade still feels sharp. So it just needs a little tidy up and a clean for summer. But again, a really nice durable pair of loppers that I would recommend. So those are the 3 Felcos that we got in 2020 last year, and this year we have got 2 more to add to the collection, and also some cleaning product. We are in our garden room conservatory, and I've just opened the window because I'm dying of heat, even though it's actually been a really thunderstorm kind of day. But we do have fields and fields of sheep and lambs grazing, so if you can hear funny noises, it's either pheasants or it's lambs and sheep that are all outside the window. So hopefully you can't hear too much of that, but if you can, that's what it is. So the first up is the Felco 11s. The Felcos, this is great to show you how a pair of Felcos will come. This is the packaging. And if you're in a shop or you've gone to purchase a pair of Felcos inside a garden centre or something like that, it's worth knowing that all Felco packaging is easy to access. So you can easily just slide this up. It's not glued, stapled, nothing. It is just loose like this, and you can just open it right up. The benefit and why Felcos do that is to encourage consumers and encourage you to actually feel and test out a pair of Felcos before you purchase them. So if you're inside a shop, it really is worth asking the shop assistant to just take the Felco out of the packaging like that, so you can actually feel the weight of them, feel how it is in your hand, and see if it's comfortable and ideal for you. Another thing is that Felco do different sizes. So this one comes in small and large, and they also do left and right. So the Felco 11s cut 25 millimeters or 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch. So they cut quite a good branch. So you can see also with the Felco 11, it is also stamped Felco 11, so you know which one you're grabbing, just like the Felco 2s. But you can see how similar they are and different they are as well. The blade is obviously quite different. With the Felco 11s, the blade is kind of a lot slimmer and a lot slicker, so it can get into tighter spaces. And you can see this wheel here. The wheel is so that you can adjust how big you want your suckers to open. So when you open the latch here, it springs open, and if I was to loosen this and tighten it, it means that depending on where I go on the wheel, it would either get bigger or smaller. So I could have it so, for example, only opens to a maximum of that. So just so that if you've got smaller hands, I've got quite long fingers, so for me I can actually take that width. But if you wanted something, if you had shorter fingers or smaller hands and you wanted something that just didn't spring quite so open, you can adjust it to your comfort level. Also in the packaging, when you do open the box, it is worth opening inside the packaging, because that is where all the details come as to which spare parts you can replace and order, and they even have exactly what part number you would need to order if you needed to replace them. So I always make sure I keep this bit in my shed so that I can always refer to it if I need to. But of course, if you lost it, you'd be able to easily just go onto their website. Also on the Felco 11s, you have these parts which have got like a hexagonal shape to them, and inside the box, be careful when you open the box, this will come with it, and it is just in the box loose, and that is obviously to use there to open and close and loosen and tighten. Felco 11s do feel quite different to the Felco 2s. The blade area, I wouldn't say it feels lighter, but in your hand, the Felco 2s, this part from here to here is a little bit heavier, not uncomfortably so, but just slightly, so you do feel like the weight is doing that. These feel very, very balanced. I can't really tell any difference in weight from here to here. The whole thing feels very, very, very nicely balanced, which obviously stops your hand from tiring out if you're doing a long day of gardening and lots of pruning. Also worth noting is when you do open them and take them out of the pack, you'll notice that the latch is not moving. They have tightened that for security through transportation and retail. So you do just need to open this with your little tool, loosen it up so that you then can easily do it with your thumb, open and close the action. So when you need to. Again, it's just got the rubber dipped handles, exactly the same as the Felco 2s, and it's molded as well to your fingers and really sits very, very nicely and comfortably in the hand. It's almost like having another pair of Felco 2s, but these are a bit different, and they do have, as I said, the narrower blade, so they are easier to use in narrow spaces, or if you want to kind of really get into a hedge or a shrub to trim something, you've got a lot smaller space here to deal with, so easier for more precision cutting. Again, the red Swiss handle, it's their iconic branding, and you just know that as soon as you see a red pair of suckers anyway, you're kind of thinking, is that a pair of Felcos? And they are just really great. The fact that it is red, actually, I find really fantastic. You do put your suckers and loppers down and walk off and get involved in other jobs and come back and you're frantically looking for them, and you know, you're thinking, where have my suckers gone? And even if I'm working in long grass down in our field area, I can find these really easily. So this year I'm really getting into my flowers and growing my own flowers, and I've got a big cut flower garden that is under construction at the moment. We're just building it, and we've got a lot of dahlias going in. I'm doing some dinner plate dahlias, which are, you know, the huge head dahlias, so really beautiful. And we've got a lot of that we're going to be doing this summer. So I've got a lot of flower cutting that I'm hopefully going to be doing this summer. And I've got the Felco 300s for a quick snip, which, as I said, I keep in the utility room kitchen, but I wanted something that was specifically for my cut flower garden. So that's why the Felco 100s have been added to the collection. Felco 100s do 10 mils, 1 centimeter, or almost half an inch. So they are more for your your flowers, your roses, those kind of things. And these are a large as well, and again, you just pop them open. They also come with the little hexagonal tool thing. They feel obviously a lot weightier than the Felco 300s, the snips. These really do feel like secateurs. Whereas like the Felco 300s, because of the plastic handle, they're a lot more lightweight. They kind of almost fill that gap between a kitchen scissor and a secateurs, kind of like that middle ground. These feel like flower secateurs. The Felco 100s are really definitely a flower secateur. You can see they've got an awful lot of design going on here, and very, very clever design. So this part here, as you might hopefully can see, it's got these two flat parts on the blade, and Felcos have designed, you see there, that's fantastic, look at that. So Felco have designed that so that, you know, when you cut a flower, especially for me when I'm going to be hopefully doing my dahlia dinner plate size, they're gonna be really top heavy, those flowers. And when you reach in and snip something, you know, obviously the gravity will take hold and it will fall away from you really quickly. And what is supposed to be really clever about the Felco 100s is that it is that part that they have molded, or that has been built into the blade, that holds onto the stem. I can't wait to try these. I'm really excited to try these. So basically when you cut, it'll cut through and then it'll grip and hold onto the stem, allowing you the chance to get your other hand up there and take the flower, preventing the flower from hopefully falling to the ground, getting smashed and damaged, which, you know, obviously when we're growing our own flowers, we really want to avoid doing that. We want to bring the flowers into the house looking beautiful and in their best condition. So I am really excited about these ones. Another thing that's really useful and unique about the Felco 100s is they have two different types of opening positions. So as you can see, this is the closed position, and I've got my latch completely closed, but I can actually just move this latch up to the next rivet, if you like, or section. And if I just open that and just move it up, and then I've closed it again there, and it allows for the secateurs to remain open at a much smaller distance than fully open. So you can just, if you're working in somewhere quite tight space, for example, if you've got a big thing of roses and you want to just get in, you don't want your secateurs to fully open, you can just put the latch up to the next level, if you like, and then just go in, and you know that this is never going to spring open any bigger than that. Or if you want it to be fully open, you just fully open your latch completely and you end up with your normal opening. So that's also really clever and quite specific to the Felco 100s. I've also just noticed now that the handle on this side comes down and then kind of twists in, if you like. And I've just noticed that now. You just don't even notice these things with the Felcos. You kind of just put them in your hand and you just think, how is it that these things feel so comfortable in my hand and they just feel so natural to use? But again, they've just thought about the curvature of your thumb and all of your muscles here, and they've just made it go in and sit in to that dip here, so that you've just got that extra comfort. And I've just got to say that whenever I'm using any of my Felcos, my hands never get tired. So for me, the fact that Felcos produce tools that they, you know, on the outside, you know, you just see a whole bunch of secateurs and you just think, oh, they're all the same. They really are not. When you're looking at a pair of Felcos, really take the time to go through their whole range and look at, you know, your cutting and your diameter. So think about, you know, what are you going to be cutting the most of? Or for example, if you know what you're going to be cutting, think about, you know, do you want a left hand, a right hand, small, medium, large? Think about what kind of unique features you want as part of your secateurs. So, you know, really take some time to choose the ones that are right for you, because hopefully, you know, these should be with you for forever. I mean, I can't see a reason why these won't be with me a decade, 2 decades, you know, hopefully forever. I will find them somewhere in my shed and I will still love them just as much as I do today. Also, I got the Felco 981, which is their cleaning spray, resin remover and dissolvent, VOC free, and it's just a little spray here, and you basically will spray it onto your pruning tools, your pruners, your loppers, your saws, that kind of thing, and it's really effective in just removing all that stickiness. You know, you might have green kind of staining from leaves and things like that, so it'll hopefully work a treat in just keeping the blades really nice and clean. And then, so I'll have to do that, and then I'll also want to just oil up and lubricate around all the wheels, and then I've got a Felco sharpener, and I'll also give the blades a sharpen as well. So for me, Felco are definitely one of the world's leading garden tool manufacturers. They produce some gorgeous cutters and secateurs and loppers, and I think what I most respect about the company is that they have had huge success. They are renowned for the tools that they produce and they make, and they have such a great reputation in the gardening world. And I think that they could have so easily become distracted and just said, oh, you know, let's just start to make every single gardening tool and gadget we can possibly think of and just flood the market with stuff. And that's just not the approach. They have stayed laser focused on, they know that what they're good at is producing, you know, solid blades, things that are really durable, things that are really well designed. The attention to detail is second to none, and they are just not interested in getting into, you know, a jack of all trades kind of company. They want to stay in their field and be the experts in that field, and that instills me as a consumer with a huge amount of confidence in knowing that no matter what product I purchase from them, I know I'm going to be satisfied with it. I know it's going to turn up, I know it's going to be uniquely designed, and it's going to do everything that the website has said it's going to do. It's going to have these features, it's going to perform well. I know that I'm going to take it out of the pack and I know I'm going to be really pleased with it. So, you know, for not many brands that you can say that about nowadays. I think there's a lot of companies out there that kind of have, you know, maybe a hero product, you know, they've had kind of a one-hit wonder, or they do one thing really well and then you try a second or third thing and you think, not so great. But, you know, with Felco, that's 5 secateurs and a lopper that I've got from them. So it's 5 products, and every single one is in its own right a fantastic product, and feels like it wasn't rushed out. It feels like every single, you know, piece of the design is very deliberate, very thought through, and that they spend a lot of time and energy on really just producing the best, whatever it is, item or product that they're working on at that time. They absolutely push themselves to produce the best of that. And for me, I think that that's just great. I also like the sustainability and the fact that I know I'm going to have these for decades, and that if anything fails on here and I need to replace it, I can. I like the fact they've designed it in such a way that I can take it all to pieces and put it back together again if there was anything that needed to be repaired or maintained. I really can't bring myself to support companies that, for example, deliberately make products where they kind of have molded something together or put something together and, you know, do it in such a way that they know that you can't get into that product to fix something, because, you know, they know that you then have no other option but to landfill it, trash it, and go and buy another one. And I have no time for that whatsoever, especially in gardening. I think you want something that you can trust, you can rely on. You know, you're busy, you're working hard, you could be in the middle of summer, you could be sweating profusely, really on a hot day, and you just want to pick up a tool and know it's going to work. You don't want to pick up something and then it falls to pieces on you, or you go to cut something and it can't cut through and you're just getting more and more frustrated. You know, that should be part of your gardening experience, is having tools that you rely on, that you trust, and that can make your gardening experience more pleasurable, more fulfilling, and that you can then just get on and do the things you love, like cutting flowers, hopefully all of this summer. So I hope that you found this video useful and interesting. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. I think I'll also try, as I do have my Felcos there that I've just shown you that really do need a clean and a sharpen. So I think I'll be doing a video soon on cleaning and sharpening your Felcos. So stay tuned for that, and I hope to see you on our next video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.